Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristin and I love to craft. Today we are going to be doing a tutorial on how to use the Brother PE800 embroidery machine. So let's go ahead and get started on today's video. The first item that we have here is bobbins, and these are pre-wound from Amazon. They did not come in this clear container. I also got these from Amazon as well, but pre-wound bobbins are ones that come already on the little spool here. That way all that you have to do is just insert the bobbin. Now you can also wind your own bobbins. I do not wind my own bobbins just because the tension has to be almost perfect in order for your design to come out correctly, so I just buy them in bulk from Amazon and they are super cheap. So that is one necessity that I would highly recommend, is not to wind your own bobbins, just order them from Amazon. Next up we have a seam ripper, and this is great if you are starting out with embroidery and you mess up on your design or you need to take your stitches off, so this is perfect for that. Next up we have fray check, and this is a liquid seam sealant. So if you are doing applique, this is great. You can just put it along the sides and it will kind of seal up your fabric so it doesn't fray. So let's say that this edge right here is your applique design. You would just seal it up with that. I have not used it, so I don't know how good that brand is. I do a lot of applique, but the seams are not showing for those designs, but I'm sure that I will be using this very soon because I actually picked out a design for this, so that will be in an upcoming video very soon. Next up, let's talk about hoops. This is a jumbo hoop, and it is a multi-position hoop, so you would put it on the machine in 2 different places. So this is great if you are doing like sweaters with names across the front or designs across the front, especially for adults, or towels, blankets, things like that. The jumbo hoop is perfect. Whenever I'm doing a children's shirt, I use these 2 hoops right here. And whenever I'm doing a monogram on like a jacket or a shirt pocket, this hoop right here is perfect for that. And I also have an extra hoop, and these are 7x5. You can get all these hoops right here on Amazon, and they do come with these little cards right here. So what you do is you hoop your project, and then you could put this on top, and it just shows you exactly where the middle is. And you could take a fabric marker and mark the middle, that way that you know exactly where the middle is, but that is just a handy little card that they do come with. Another thing that we need to talk about is embroidery scissors. I cannot find my other ones. I just used them in a video, so I know that they're somewhere in my craft room, but they are tiny little scissors and it helps just get little threads on your project. These are also another pair of embroidery scissors, and they are kind of angled a little bit. Here they are up close, and they angle up so that way that you could trim your project a lot easier and it doesn't get stuck on your fabric. But I will also have these linked down in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. Okay, I had to zoom you guys out because I have this huge box of thread, and I'm gonna go ahead and open it up and just kind of show you guys what all is in here. Tons and tons and tons of thread. I get all of my thread from Amazon. It is called New Bro Thread, and I will also link it just in case you are interested in checking these out. But I buy them in huge packs. I think they come in like a 96, a 24, and maybe even a 12 pack, but they come in all different size packs, all different colors, all different shades, and I have tons of colors. But today, let's just go in with this color right here. Next up, let's talk about Heat and Bond Light. So whenever you do applique, you want to use Heat and Bond Light. You can get this from Amazon, Hobby Lobby, any sort of craft store. But what you do is you iron it to the back of your fabric, and it helps the fabric hold up and not fray as much. And so that is why I absolutely have to have Heat and Bond Light for applique. Next up, let's talk about stabilizers. I know it looks like a lot, and it's probably a lot of information. However, different materials need different stabilizers. So let's go with a water-soluble stabilizer. This is great for monograms. You can definitely put it on top, or you could put it on the back. So whenever you are hooping your project, you can use it as a top layer and the inside layer. Cutaway stabilizer is great for sweaters. This just holds your stitches up a lot better. Next up, we have tearaway stabilizer. For tearaway stabilizer, you're able to tear the stabilizer, And this is great if you are doing towels or anything that you would need to see the back of your design. This is great. Next up, we have a soft, lightweight tearaway stabilizer. So this is the exact same thing as what I just showed you. So we will go ahead and set this to the side. This is also a cutaway stabilizer, but it is super soft and super flexible. This is great for the inside of sweaters as well. It is not a tearaway, so you can't just tear it. That is why it's called a cutaway stabilizer. Next up, we have a tearaway stabilizer. It's not as easy to tear. It's more of a plastic one, but it could tear if you needed it to. So this is great for like dish towels, beach towels, anything that, again, you would need to see the back of. So that is great. And then this is also another one. So this is iron-on backing. So this is great for kids' t-shirts. Sometimes the inside of your embroidery design can be a little bit itchy for their chest, and so you would just need to iron this on the inside of the kids' t-shirt, and it's super soft so it doesn't give that itchy feel for them. So if you have a embroidery business, then you probably know exactly what this is. But that is all of the stabilizers that I have. I mostly use tearaway stabilizer just because whenever I am embroidering, I want to be able to just tear it, have a clean look, and move on with my project instead of having to sit there and cut. But if you are looking for something that's very sturdy, that's going to hold your project up for like an adult sweater, definitely use some cutaway stabilizer and just attach maybe even the iron-on backing as well. So that is all that I have to talk about for stabilizers. I know it's a lot of information, but getting started out, just start off with some tearaway stabilizer. It's just a lot easier. And all of these stabilizers will be linked down in the description box below. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I am here to help you. So let's go ahead and move on to the other supplies. I bought this from Amazon a long time ago, and it is embroidery machine oil. So if you use your machine a lot, which I do use my machine a lot, but it has not needed to be oiled just yet. But I have this on hand just in case it starts getting to the point where it sounds like it needs oil. So I have this here, and I did order it from Amazon, and it comes with a bottle of oil along with this little tip right here. That way it's easier to get in and out of those gears. So I haven't tried this out yet, but it had great reviews, so I like to have it on hand. Next up, let's talk about needles. So for your embroidery machine, you will need to have a lot of needles on hand, especially starting off, because I broke so many needles whenever I first started, and I ended up just ordering a huge pack. I will probably never go through this many needles, but these are 75/11. Here's the packaging up close, that way that you could take a screenshot if you were looking to get some, but this did come in a bulk pack. There are 5 pieces in each little envelope, and I have at least 20 in here, I think. There's just tons of needles in here. I will probably never go through that many, but it's always great to have those on hand. Your embroidery machine will come with this tool right here, and this is just to take off the plates on there. That way that whenever you are cleaning it out, you can get in there a lot easier, but I like to keep mine in just like a little Ziploc bag. This one came with my sewing machine, I believe, and so I just keep all the little handy tools in here. It also came with this little brush right here, and I like to take the brush and clean up all of the lint that gets in the little bobbin case. And let's see, I also like to clean out just like little small areas that gets a lot of lint. Whenever you are working with your embroidery machine, you will notice how linty it gets. And so that tool is just definitely handy. Before we head over to our embroidery machine, let's go ahead and put everything on the hoop. So we are going to untighten our hoop right here by just twisting that, and the hoop will separate. Make sure that the openings for the hooks are face down. We are going to take our tearaway stabilizer, and the reason that I'm using this is because I'm going to show you how easy it actually is to use. So we need to have just enough so we can just put this on top for a second. I'm just going to take some regular scissors and just cut across like that. Go ahead and set our stabilizer to the side. I'm going to take just a scrap piece of fabric. I know I probably should have ironed it, but this is just a little scrap that we will be using. So we need to make sure it is at least going to go over the edges of our hoop, which is about right there. And I'm just going to cut off just enough. So we need to make sure that the hooks are face down. Then we're going to take our stabilizer. Then we are going to take our scrap piece of fabric, put it on top. Definitely should have been ironed. Y'all just ignore that. Okay, so I actually went and just ran the iron over it a little bit. That way that we could take out that major crease in the middle. But okay, we have everything on top of the hoop. Then we are going to take the very top piece of the hoop and put it on there as well. And we are going to push it down. And then we are going to take this part right here and twist it tight. Before we twist it all the way tight, we need to make sure that we are just gently pulling the sides of our fabric and the stabilizer, just to make sure that it's on there pretty tight. If you pull your fabric too tight whenever you take your project off, it will shrink, and you do not want that at all. So do not pull your fabric too tight. All right, so we're going to tighten it up on the side just a little bit more. And if you tap it and it sounds like a drum, then that means that it is tight enough. So that sounds great. If you want to, you can trim up the edges on your project. I'm going to go ahead and do that just because I think it's easier to work with. So I'm going to take some scissors and just go all the way around it. Okay, so we have our project trimmed down on the hoop. Let's go ahead and move on over to the embroidery machine. I'm going to show you how to insert a bobbin, how to thread your machine, and also how to put the hoop onto the machine. So let's go ahead and head on over to the embroidery machine. Okay, so here is my Brother PE800 embroidery machine, and the first thing that we are going to do is take our USB drive and insert it into the machine on the side. Now I'm going to show you how to insert the bobbin. So there's a little notch right here, just push it back, and this little window right here will pop up, and you could just take it off. So whenever we are going to put our bobbin in, we need to make sure that it looks like the letter P. So your string should come down from the left, like that. So just pull that string backwards and pop the bobbin in there. Now we are going to take the string, pull it a little bit to the right, and you'll see this little notch right here. Go behind it, bring it upwards, and then pull it back down this way. And it has an automatic thread cutter right there, so it cut thread for us. Now we can just pop this back on, push it down, and it's good to go. Next thing we are going to do is thread our machine. So we're just going to lift this up like that, and we are going to pop this down. That way that our string can unravel. And I just like to unravel it a few inches, about right there. We are going to put the thread on this right here. So you can lift it up, make sure that it goes in the middle of the thread, just like that. And then these are numbered, so I'll get a little bit closer. So we are going to go up on one, straight down to the right, bring it over to the left, go up, and then there's number 2. We are going to bring it around, and then we are going to bring it down to 3, over to the left, up, then you'll see 4 right here. You need to stay to the right, go to the left, and then back down. Once we bring it back down, you'll see 5 right here and number 6 back here. So we are just going to bring it straight back, hook it on number 6, bring it straight across to number 7, and then there is a thread cutter right here, just like that. Whenever you are threading your machine, you need to make sure that your presser foot is lifted up. If it's lifted down, your tension will be way off, okay? So make sure that your presser foot is lifted up, and you could do that by pressing this right here back. So it lifts it up. Okay, so once we have threaded the machine, we are now going to lower the presser foot and press this little lever right here, and it automatically threads our machine. All right, let's go ahead and add the hoop onto our machine. On your embroidery machine, you will have 2 tabs right here. So you have one right here, one right here, and those will go inside these little tabs right here. So as long as these are open on the bottom, we can insert it right there. So lift up your presser foot, and we are just going to lift it up over those hooks, press it down. Now let's go ahead and turn on the machine. There's a switch on the side. Whenever you are using your embroidery machine, you need to make sure that there is nothing behind your machine or that it's not up against the wall. If your hoop hits the wall, it could definitely damage the arms in here, so do not let it hit anything. All right, we are going to tap the screen, and it is going to say the carriage of the embroidery unit will move. Keep your hands, etc., away from the carriage. Press OK. All right, and it's asking me if I want to resume the previous project. No, I do not. Now I'm going to show you how to navigate the screen on here. We're going to click our USB drive. We have our embroidery files folder. We have our design, which is here. And we're going to click set. Or you can click delete, which we're not going to delete it, so let's go ahead and click set. You can move your embroidery design around. You can resize it, which I would not recommend because you should do that in your embroidery software on your computer. You can rotate it, which we can. Let's just go ahead and rotate it. Press OK. And then we are going to click Edit End and Embroidery. And then if you want to use different colors, you would definitely have to do that within your software. But if you wanted to skip a color, you would click the plus or minus button right here. All right, so we only have one color and it is already on our machine. Okay, so we're going to lower our presser foot, and then see how that one turned green right there? It was red. Now this is our start button, so we can just go ahead and click start and the magic will happen. Okay, our project is done, and whenever it's done, it will say finished embroidering. You can just press OK. And then you can go ahead and take your hoop off, and we can do that by lifting up our presser foot, and then we can push on this little tab right here. So just push back and then lift up your hoop, and then we can and then we can head on over to the craft table to trim this up. Okay, so we have our embroidery design here. Now I can tell that the tension was way too tight on this because you can see how it's scrunching along the letters, but it's completely fine. This is just like a little test project. So we are going to take our embroidery scissors and we are going to pull up on the strings right here and just trim it down. You can also trim it down, and then you could take like a lighter and light up those little edges that could be a little bit too short to trim, that might stand out, but this is how we trimmed up this one. Let's go ahead and take it off the hoop. We could do that by untightening this part right here. So just twist it and then pop your hoop out. I like to go ahead and just put my hoop back together. That way that I have all of my pieces next time that I want to use it. And then we can flip it over and we can trim up some of these back here as well so that it looks a little bit cleaner. All right, that looks great. Now let's take a look at this tearaway stabilizer. I told you guys it was going to be super easy to tear it off. So all that you have to do is just pull it. And that's pretty much it. We can also take our scissors and just kind of graze over, take out those little middle parts. But that is how you trim up the back. And this is the front. Again, I do not like that scrunching, but this material is so stinking thin. And also the tension was a little bit off, but you guys kind of get the point on how to do a embroidery project. Let me go grab my basket of things that I've embroidered just to give you guys some inspiration. I have a whole entire basket beside me of finished projects that I currently am working on listing for my Etsy shop. I'm a little bit embarrassed on how many I've actually made, but I wanted to just show you guys a few of them. So these are little birthday party hats, and I made this whole entire thing. So I used cardstock, felt on the inside, and hot glue, and I embroidered the one on here. This is applique. I also did this one. The tension's a little bit off on the top, but this one is such a stinking cute one. There's another one. I've also made a bunch of pink ones as well. These are so stinking cute. Here are some cake toppers. So they're just little ones that I appliqued and hot glued to the back with some ribbon. I have a lot of those. Okay, and here is a birthday high chair banner, and it says 1 because of course it's for their first birthday, but that is just so stinking cute. I also have a blue one as well, and I think maybe a blue check. I'll have to check and see, but I've made tons of these. I know this looks like a hot mess, but these are so stinking pretty. I embroidered these. It says first day of pre-K. I got these little pennant flags from Hobby Lobby. I think that these were like $1.99 or something. Of course, I don't have any tags left on them, but these were super cheap and super duper easy to make. So the child just kind of holds the top of it right here, and it's cute for like those first day of pre-K pictures. I have them in pink, and I also have them in blue as well, but these are some of my best sellers, so I had to stock up on these. I like to have a lot of these made before back to school starts because these sell out like hotcakes. So these were super easy to make, but I also have done a lot of kids t-shirts. My son, he probably has like 50 in his closet. But I hope that I've inspired you guys to make some embroidered projects. You can embroider on almost everything. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!